So a few people wanted me to make a video about the build I use to kill heretics. So this is the one I've been using for every fight at various completion stages. Obviously, I did not use the exact same equipment and I wasn't at level 150 for every single one of them. The only fight I haven't done on this build is Crow, because that requires ending B. So, quick overview, this is a build that focuses on spamming the Greatsword combo finisher, which you can do by pressing the secondary weapon button without one equipped, while having a ton of lifesteal and sustain. This build is extremely easy to play, extremely forgiving, and I guess we'll just start with the stats. The build has 40 vitality, 25 endurance. Both amounts I find to be comfortable to play. It's really up to you whether you take a bit more or a bit less. The only thing you want to remember is that you're going to want a good amount of vitality, just because of Aura of Blood, which I'll expand upon later when talking about equipment. Then we have Strength. Strength I raised up to 100, so I am able to use this shield, which is exclusive to the Sentinel class. Note that you need to pick Sentinel as your primary class and not just as a secondary tree to be able to benefit from the ability that halves every strength requirement, which is why I can wield this. Then we have Haste. So I want to talk about Haste because a lot of builds rely on it and use it, but I find that first off, I don't have any points I can afford to spend in it, and then it doesn't work all that great with great swords. I don't find that they benefit from it, and the stamina regeneration I just don't care about, because blocking with this takes absolutely zero stamina. Like, this is broken. And I guess we'll move to equipment. So for the armor, you would ideally want to use the entire Celestial set. It's the best one for strength builds, but I'm using 2 pieces of the Wrath set because last killed Jacko in my save file, so I can't buy the armor scraps to make to craft everything else. It doesn't matter, truth be told, like you can see the difference is pretty minor. Plume doesn't matter, this build doesn't use any plumes. You don't need any to heal, mostly because we have the Aura of Blood, which is the core of the build. So what this does is every time you do a combo finisher, you heal for 5% of your max HP, provided you're above 70% health. So that's why we want to have some points into vitality, so that 30% HP is equal to more HP, so it's easier to stay above. If I'm clear. I'm hoping I am. There isn't much more to say, really. Like, the Greatsword combo finisher is pretty good as a move, so that's why I'm using them to spam it, even though Halberds would also work quite well, but Sentinel buff Greatsword, so I'm using that. For the shield, already talked about it a little bit. This is the second best one in the game. You can get a better one if you go for ending B, a much better one, in fact, with lower requirements, but I went with ending A. And alright, great swords, I need to talk about that. There are 3 you can use. Pick the one you find looks cool, really doesn't matter. The only thing that's worth remembering is that this does physical damage, so this will always do the full damage. This does lightning damage, this one dark damage, so these 2 will sometimes hit more, sometimes for less damage, depending on the enemy's resistances and weaknesses. So if you use one of these 2, you have the other one ready just in case. But their crashdown abilities aren't all that great, so except maybe this one. This one is pretty good, but I think that's it for the equipment. For the general tree, there isn't much to talk about. The only 3 talents I did not pick is this because I'm not mortal, and these 2 because they are for bow builds. A few things of importance maybe, Soul Trigger, more damage is a great skill. This gives you cooldown reduction on one of your ability slots, so it's great. These 2 skills make perfect pairing, perfect blocking and pairing stronger by increasing the heal and giving you soul energy. This is amazing, even though it was nerfed with Afterlife, kind of nerfed. This is especially useful in fights like Endless, Heroic Endless. You're just attacking the boss with the combo finisher, building up the multiplier, then she spawns an orb in the air, so you one-shot it and go back to attacking the boss. Very handy. Blinding Bomb, especially useful against Heroic Thalamus, because you can extract souls out of it to heal. This I think you can use to recharge abilities that have a set number of use, like traps and the bombs, but I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure anyone is sure actually. And I think that's it for the general tree. For the Sentinel tree, which is my primary class, I picked everything beside Great Hammer skills, talents, because I don't use them. Not much to talk about really, except maybe this, which I'll expand on later. This makes your fire ability better, and this increases the damage of the Dark Knight Greatsword. That's it really, not much more to talk about. For the secondary class, I went with Blood Knight. You could also go Soldier, it's a bit of a safe pick. Soldier works with everything, but especially well with classes that rely heavily on shields, like Sentinel. It's a lifesteal build, so Blood Knight makes sense. What should I talk about? These 2 abilities? Nah, I picked them, but I don't really use them. They're good, if you want to use it you can, but I don't rely on them. The goal of the build is to be more sustainable, not to lose health faster. This unfortunately doesn't work on Greatsword. I think it's only for axes. Maybe I should show you actually. Rolling attack does 662. Now if you get some energy and set him on fire. 662. So a bit of a disappointment here, but oh well, it is what it is. This is actually quite great. This means that this 1 talent is going to help you stay above 70% max health to benefit from the heal of the Aura of Blood. This, let me just find it. This essentially means that if you're at like 66%, so 2/3 of your max health, you just have to perfect block a few times the boss to trigger the riposte, and you are at full health, basically. Beside that, yes, of course, Bloodborne. I was asked quite a lot about this one. This essentially is a second life. If you drop under 10% health, you are immortal. Basically, you get a huge lifesteal effect. Maybe I can show you actually. There we go. And now, just look at that lifesteal effect. It's huge. But it has a long cooldown, and it's just very strong. And you can see in my videos that a lot of my attempts were saved because of that talent. Now, if you're slightly above 10% and you don't want to get it, there is a nice somewhat synergy, not really, but with Sentinel, and it's because of this, which I wanted to I'm going to talk about now. This makes your Greatsword combo finisher deal double damage if you're under 20% health, so if you don't want to get hit if you can't get hit to trigger Bloodborne, at least you deal double DPS, essentially. Because you don't use any move beside the combo finisher. So that's kind of cool. And really, that's all there is to it. I did not pick this because the goal of the build isn't to lose health faster, but to regain it. And I guess that's it for the talents. Oh no, right, I'm going to talk about advanced. Really not much more to say. I just dumped the remaining point I had in there. Soul Gambit will probably be the way to go, but I wanted to get a bit more soul energy, so I synced my remaining points in there. You know, do you. So just before I finish this, I just want to talk briefly about abilities, the ones I use and the ones I don't think a great sword build should use. So the trap, it's quite good. It gives you a nice head start against some heroics. It's just nice, but you know, not something I'd use for every fight. Soul boost, pretty good. It gives you energy when you use it. You can't go wrong with this. Energy is always good, so not much to talk about. Blinding Bomb, quite situational, but when you get to use it, it's quite good. Really gives you some a few extra hits when you get to use it. As I said before, extremely useful against Salamus. So yeah, quite good. The X-Slash, so this is an extremely powerful greatsword ability. It will essentially clear the board of every ad a boss may spawn. Just be a bit careful if you use this against a Mulvaro, because this could use the red orbs you actually want to keep alive. I mean, alive, how well you get it. Not much more to say. All around a great ability, just a long cooldown. This is your bread and butter as far as ability goes. It does a lot of damage, it sets enemy on fire, it has a fairly low cooldown. Yeah, it's just a great ability. And then Soul Trigger, excellent ability for every build pretty much. You just throw it, you just activate it when a boss has an opening where you can DPS. And yeah, you do more damage. Can't go wrong with this. The only other ability I want to mention is Rupture, which I don't think right now is worth using. It doesn't deal a lot of damage. Bleed is kind of not good. So yeah, use these if you have to use something, not Rupture. And yeah, nothing more to add. Have a good day.